Return for a moment to 1974, from the birth of the barcode and Bailey's Irish Cream to the resignation of Richard Nixon. Let's look at some of history's milestones during your graduation year. The Miami Dolphins win their second consecutive Super Bowl in January when they beat the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 at Rice Stadium in Houston. In response to the ongoing Arab oil embargo, a 55-mile-per-hour speed limit is introduced on all U.S. interstates, and year-round daylight saving time goes into effect to reduce nighttime electricity use. Happy Days debuts on ABC in January, launching an 11-year run for Richie Cunningham, Fonzie, and the gang. McDonald's founder Ray Kroc buys the struggling San Diego Padres for $12 million and saves the baseball franchise from relocating to Washington, D.C. Peter Benchley's novel Jaws swims off bookstore shelves, selling more than 20 million copies worldwide. It becomes a blockbuster movie directed by Steven Spielberg the following year. Actor Lee Majors makes his debut as the $6 Million Man on ABC. The popular show runs for 5 seasons and features guest appearances by Majors' wife, Farrah Fawcett. Patty Hearst, granddaughter of publishing tycoon William Randolph Hearst, is kidnapped by members of the Symbionese Liberation Army. Soon after, a security camera captures footage of her participating in a bank robbery. After Hearst's arrest and trial, she spends 2 years in prison before being pardoned. Mariner 10 becomes the first NASA spacecraft to visit 2 planets on one mission. The probe reaches Venus in February and takes more than 4,000 photos before heading to Mercury for its second photo shoot. Director Mel Brooks' Western satire Blazing Saddles sets a new standard for VIP movie premieres when guests are invited to saddle up and attend opening night on horseback at Burbank's Pickwick Drive-In. In 1974, the average annual income was $13,000. The average cost of a new house was $34,900, and the minimum wage was $2 an hour. You could buy a dozen eggs for 58 cents and mail a letter for a dime. Time magazine launches a spin-off publication with a catchy name, People. It becomes an immediate hit, launching a celebrity news coverage culture that continues a half-century later. Lieutenant Hiro Onoda of the Imperial Japanese Army surrenders and hands over his sword in the Philippines jungle, 29 years after the end of World War II. He returns to Japan and writes a best-selling memoir. Winners at the 16th Grammy Awards include Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly with His Song for Record of the Year and Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions for Album of the Year. Bette Midler is named Best New Artist, and Barbra Streisand has Billboard's #1 song of 1974, The Way We Were. A Chinese farmer digging a well discovers the first evidence of a massive subterranean clay army. Over the next 10 years, archaeologists uncover 8,000 life-size terracotta warriors arranged in military formation to guard the tomb of China's first emperor. 2 con men, played by Robert Redford and Paul Newman, make fedoras and pinstripes fashion fresh in The Sting, which wins Best Picture, Best Director, and 5 other Academy Awards. But the star of the night is the streaker who runs across the stage in an unrehearsed performance seen by about 44 million viewers. Henry Hank Aaron breaks Babe Ruth's home run record on April 8th, hitting his 715th home run in Atlanta against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He hits 40 more home runs before his retirement 2 years later. An article in the June issue of Emergency Medicine by thoracic surgeon Henry Heimlich outlines a life-saving technique for choking victims. Today, the Heimlich maneuver is recognized worldwide for the abdominal thrusts used to dislodge objects trapped in the throat. Washington Post reporters Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward publish All the President's Men, a bestseller about their Watergate investigation. The book is adapted into a film 2 years later, starring Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford as the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalists. A package of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit Gum is scanned at a supermarket in Troy, Ohio, launching the checkout automation with the birth of the barcode. Today, this familiar series of black lines identifies billions of products worldwide. Mikhail Baryshnikov defects from the Soviet Union while performing with the Bolshoi Ballet in Toronto. After finishing a performance, he dodges the KGB, disappears into a crowd, and escapes in a getaway car. He is granted political asylum first in Canada and then in the U.S. The Ford Pinto is the best-selling American car in 1974, followed by the Plymouth Valiant and the Chevrolet Chevelle. President Richard Nixon resigns on August 9th, departing from the White House lawn by helicopter. Vice President Gerald Ford is sworn in as the 38th President of the United States and pardons Nixon a month later. Gary Player wins his second Masters tournament at Augusta National in April. A few months later, Lee Trevino wins his first PGA championship, one stroke ahead of defending champion Jack Nicklaus. Evel Knievel attempts to jump Idaho's Snake River Canyon on a rocket motorcycle. After his parachute malfunctions and opens on takeoff, he lands at the bottom of the canyon with no injuries except a broken nose. Computer scientist Gary Kildall invents the first personal computer operating system in Pacific Grove, California. His Control Program for Microcomputers, or CPM, lays the foundation for the modern software industry by allowing users to run any application on any computer. John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth, is elected to the U.S. Senate from Ohio in 1974. He serves for 25 years until his retirement in 1999. It's a big year for liqueur fans, candy lovers, and cats. An Irish distillery blends the first Bailey's Irish Cream. A British company introduces a candy named for a bowling game played in pubs. And St. Louis-based Ralston Purina launches Meow Mix with a TV jingle featuring a singing cat. Hungarian design professor Erno Rubik assembles his first cube puzzle in 1974 and calls it Magic Cube. He licenses his invention to a toy company a few years later. More than 450 million Rubik's Cubes have been sold since 1980, and today around 200,000 speed cubers worldwide compete to solve the puzzle in a matter of seconds. Now that we've revisited a few milestones of 1974, let's look back at campus life 50 years ago. Chancellor Merle Baker steps down after a decade of service. During his tenure, the faculty size nearly doubles, external funding increases fivefold, and academic programs expand with the addition of 23 degrees. School of Engineering Director Dudley Thompson serves as acting chancellor during the national search for a new leader. Raymond Bislingoff, Deputy Director of the National Science Foundation and a former MIT dean, is named chancellor in 1974. The number of full-time faculty members reaches a record 354, with 83% holding doctorates. Research productivity also soars, with faculty publishing more than 500 articles and 12 books during the 1973-74 academic year. In the decade from 1964 to 74, female student enrollment grows from 57 to 469, a more than seven-fold increase. The Minority Engineering Program is established by a group of faculty members and the Association for Black Students to increase underrepresented student populations through scholarships. The student-run radio station KMSM goes live as KUMR with a mix of NPR and locally produced programs. The station becomes KMST in 2008 and part of St. Louis Public Radio in 2017. From REO Speedwagon to folk singers Dick and Ann Albin, All School Party Weekend energizes campus with music, dancing, dates, and social delirium. Industry Day brings representatives from companies nationwide to campus to talk with students about internships and career opportunities. Parents' Day brings moms and dads to campus for tours, football, a theater performance, and quality time with their pride and joy. A concert by John Hartford and the Red, White, and Blue, and a football game pitting the Miners against the Mules highlight homecoming weekend. Coronation activities move inside due to rain as Debbie Egerstrom is crowned homecoming queen. The annual College Government Conference comes to campus with Missouri Governor Christopher Kit Bond and Washington University Chancellor William Danforth as featured speakers. A one-man show spotlighting the legendary lawyer Clarence Darrow brings the Scopes monkey trial and other famous legal cases to life in a campus performance. A new chemistry and chemical engineering building is dedicated in April. Later named for Walter Schrank, the new Chem replaces Old Chem, which was destroyed by fire in 1969. For a week in March, streaking madness sets in as students bear it all for solo sprints, group runs, and even chariot races. From Red Cross blood drives and IFC cleanups to the Theta Tau Ugly Man contest benefiting the March of Dimes, Rolla students give back to make the world a better place for others. By 1974, there are more than 80 recognized student organizations on campus, proof that Miners embrace the Latin dictum e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Miners take a break from their books to enjoy a Harlem Globetrotters game and a concert by Duke Ellington and his orchestra. If it's March, it's St. Pat's. The whole town comes out for the parade, students endure the dreaded Alice dunkings, full regalia reigns for the coronation and knighting ceremony, and a concert by Sha Na Na tops everything off. Turning our attention to athletics, Miner football has a disappointing season with a 3-6-2 record. But the homecoming game brings a welcome 24-14 victory over the Central Missouri State Mules. Miner basketball finishes the season in a tie for second place in the MIAA Conference. Guard Ken Stallings is named Conference MVP, the first Miner to earn this honor. Other team members include senior forward John Gibson, whose major gift in 2018 renovated and named Gibson Arena in the Gail Bowman Building. After 3 consecutive years of second-place finishes, Miner swimmers splashed to first place in the MIAA. The Miner track team has a record-setting year in events including the long, triple, and high jumps, 60-yard dash, 2-mile relay, and the 2- and 3-mile run. Intramural sports are more popular than ever as Miners compete against Miners. Kappa Sigma wins the All-Sports Championship with Tau Kappa Epsilon in second place. Commencement brings the awarding of 888 bachelor's degrees, 336 master's degrees, and 39 doctoral degrees as the class of '74 celebrates a final milestone together. Congratulations to the class of '74 on the 50th anniversary of your graduation. May you keep making memories for years to come.